Hi, this is Jack Stanley, and I wanted to talk today about some records that were made in 1910 for the Gramophone Company. And they were published not only by the Gramophone Company, but of course its sister company, the Victor Talking Machine Company, in the United States. The recordings I'm speaking of are very, very unique recordings. They're recordings of birds. These are the first commercial recordings of birds. And they're kind of interesting. I did some research into this. They developed a setup with a recording horn with a perch by the recording horn so they could record the birds, which the birds recorded remarkably well. And these records are not exceedingly common. You see them here and there, but I thought I would show you a few of them. And these were all made in Bremen, and I want to show the first one is on a red seal. And it's the song of a nightingale. And there's all your information there. It's interesting to note that on the red seal, you had lots of canaries, which were opera singers, and you had lots of instrumentalists. But a nightingale, it's one of the few times I can think of that a bird got red seal status uh, on a record. Of course, that didn't last for long because most of the records made in 1910 were later released on Blue Label. This is an example of one, the song of a thrush. And on its other side, there was the song of a nightingale. That's number 2. Just not to be outdone, we have a canary and thrush duet. And lastly, a song of a sprouser, which is what you might call a field nightingale, according to this. It's remarkable to listen to, and I found them rather fascinating. But what I find really interesting about it is these are the first commercial recordings of birds. There had been recordings made previously of birds, but this is the first commercial effort. And it's quite remarkable. And the interesting thing is, in doing some research on this, I looked online and you can still hear some of these recordings still being used for the purposes of identifying various birds. And so I guess I should say that this project was a very successful one. And there's a lot more to the story, but I just thought I would mention that because um, it's really quite fascinating. I did write about it a lot in my blog, which I have a blog if you're interested. It's www.phonograph78.blogspot.com. And that's a whole website dedicated to early sound recordings and some of my research and writings. So if you like that, go take a look. But otherwise, just remember, sometimes records were for the birds.